Hey, Joe, could you kind of break down for us who went with the ones at quarterback and just how the quarterbacks look today?
Yeah, we went ahead and started Cole today because Ty went last week. I think before the scrimmage, we really set it out to where it would be exactly equal. Cole would have an equal number of reps with the ones as well as Ty, and then each one would have an equal number of reps with the twos. And I think going back and looking at it, just thinking out loud right now, I think we pretty much we're 50-50 on the rep count. We'll go back and grade the film and watch and see exactly where we were.
Well, Chad mentioned that there were 3 picks, so who all was involved? How did those happen?
Well, again, I don't remember. I know Ty threw a couple. I believe he threw one to Santos. One was in a 2-minute situation. It was 4th and long. Got to stay out of that situation. So, we lost the game on 4th and long. And I don't remember the other one. I have to go back and watch.
Yeah, Joe, how's the reshuffled offensive line doing? I guess is Clint still out there left tackle and Ed Kuiper left guard? How are those guys doing?
Yeah, we're still moving them around, just trying to, cross-train some guys. We got a couple bumps and bruises here and there. I think today we started B-Wall at right tackle, Shane Clinton at left tackle, Yeller at center. I think Johnny Gibson at right guard, and I believe it was Kirby Adcock at left guard to start today.
Just with the offensive linemen, how much are you having to ask and how difficult is it for the freshmen and even redshirt freshmen offensive linemen to be playing so much this early?
Yeah, I think it's not difficult. I think our system is pretty easy to pick up. I think that if anything's difficult, it's the speed of the game, speed of the defenders are going against, bless you.
Thank you.
Speed of the defense they're going against with the D linemen is a little bit different than they were in high school. But from an install standpoint, those guys have done a really good job picking up our system.
Coach Morris indicated pass protection problems, but what about run blocking and how did the running game go?
Yeah, again, we'll go back and look at the tape. I know Coach Chavis is bringing some pressures, and when you got quarterbacks in black jerseys, it's you got to have a quick whistle. Those guys, we got to keep those guys healthy. I thought we did a good job picking it up. I know a couple times we busted. Not really worried about that at all, honestly. I thought our guys have done a really good job to this point. And we've been able to run the ball as well, too. And this scrimmage was a little bit more pass happy, like I told you last time. Our first scrimmage, we were really trying to run the ball in the first scrimmage, and then we wanted to kind of open it up and see what those quarterbacks could do throwing the ball down the field today.
How would you just assess overall where you stand at this point and how close to game ready? What do you still need to get done to be game ready?
Well, just get all the kinks out. There's a couple things, like I said, we busted a couple assignments today. Everybody wants to talk about the offensive line and all that stuff, but we got to have guys making plays down the field too. You got to have guys getting open. You got to have running backs protecting and pass protection too. So we've got to get some wrinkles worked out. And again, even from a headset communication standpoint, just the first time being as a full staff, going to the box and doing different things that are more game-like. We got to work all those things out, and that's what the Beanie Bowl's for next week.
How is Austin Capps coming along with just the playbook? And then also, have y'all completely weaned him off the walkie-talkie in his helmet?
I think so, yeah. I think he got kind of sick of hearing Coach Frown every play, talking in his ear. He's done an incredible job of picking it up. It's a guy that we think is going to really, really help us up front. I'm glad we got him. I'm glad the defense was, kind enough to let us have him because he's a good player. And we appreciate that, and I know Coach Chavis and Chief and the boys, they want us to have a good team, and they thought that he could help us a little bit better on offense, and we appreciate that. But he's done a really good job. He's really worked on it, and he's really studied, and he's come a long way since he first started.
Hey Joe, I don't know how much film you looked at from the last couple seasons, but ours obviously a ton of sacks, way too many. Especially with the offensive line being hit pretty hard with injuries. How do you feel about you guys reducing the sacks? And maybe how can the scheme getting the ball out faster maybe help in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, we got to do a good job. I don't want to comment on the past. I don't know what went on, what was coached, what techniques were coached. I do know our guys this year they've come a long way since the spring with their technique and their fundamentals. You know, from a schematic standpoint, you know, you're getting pressure. You got to hold up, and like I said, it takes everybody. It takes wideouts getting open versus man coverage. It takes running backs picking up a blitz and linebacker. It takes a quarterback knowing where the ball needs to go and getting it out of his hand. So it's a team game, it's a team effort. It's not just the 5 guys up front. I mean, those guys are doing a heck of a job and run and being able to run the football. And again, we just got to work out some kinks, get the continuity of those guys, understanding when twists are coming and all that, how to pass all that stuff up.
Do you have rough stats from the QBs today?
From who? Quarterbacks? I don't. We'll have to go back and grade the film and see where we're at there.
Chad pointed out Jordan Jones is scoring, and I think Jonathan Nance. Can you elaborate on who looked good today and what you thought of those two?
Yeah, I mean, again, I was way up in the sky. I think Gerard Barnes made a heck of a play. I think we hit him on the middle. Can't remember what we called, but he took it and broke a couple tackles and took it down the sideline about the 30, 35-yard line. So we did a really good job on that play. That's one that stood out. I know Jared Cornelius yesterday made a good play to open the practice, and those are the guys just past 2 days that have really, you know, made some plays down the field.
Chad said maybe the running backs are feeling a little too good about themselves. Maybe you guys have praised them a lot in camp, and they had a little bit of a slow start. What do you think of the running backs? Maybe how you guys handle that situation today?
Yeah, I mean, they deserve it. They deserve the praise. They've been doing a really good job. They've been running the ball well. They've been protecting the ball for the most part. We've had a couple guys laid on the ground here and there. Nothing to be concerned about there. We got to protect the football, but those guys are doing a really good job. You know, we limited a couple guys today, just making sure that, you know, we get those guys in the game. We've seen enough from spring to this point in fall camp to know what those guys can do, and you know, we got to continue to get those guys some reps here and there, but we got to also get them the first game.
I'm sorry, Chad said they got off to a bad start, and you guys had to kind of get into them a little bit.
I don't know. I'll have to go watch the film.
Come on.
With tight ends, just any of them stand out, and how's it going? Anybody picked up the time that Patton's been out as far as getting some extra reps and doing well?
Yeah, I mean, it's really challenged the other guys. I mean, when you're trying to be an 11 personnel team, mix in some 12 and even 13 personnel, it makes it tough when you have 1 or 2 guys banged up. And so those guys have done a really good job picking up the slack here and there, and knowing what we're trying to do schematically and use them in different positions and all kinds of different things. You know, the main thing is when those guys go in there, we don't want to have to change what we do. We want to make sure we can still go fast and play at an up-tempo, no matter who's in the game. And then Grayson Gunner's done a heck of a job of learning the slot position at receiver when he's in there in 12 personnel, so he can still play fast. So I would say he's really stood out. You know, he made a play in overtime 2 practices ago, I believe it was. Went up and high pointed the ball, made a great play, and you know, CJ's had probably past 3 days, probably 2 of his best practices since we've been here. So he's really picked it up. I think Pat's going to be just fine, and Cantrell's he's Cantrell, man. He's steady. He's a hard, tough-nosed kid that I'm glad he's on our team. And he does some really great stuff in the run game, and he's really worked on his pass catching and route running. So those guys have done a really, really good job, and I appreciate those guys as well.
Last one, David.
Coach mentioned with the new 4-game rule that freshmen can play, you know, at any point in the season, that if you were ready to play at the start of the season, he was going to. With your young quarterbacks, obviously Cole and Tyre get most of the snaps, but do you think about playing them early, or do you just kind of sit back and wait till as the season goes on?
You know, I think you got to play them early, see what they got. You know, when we hit game 4 in the SEC West, we got to make sure those guys, if they are a guy, we got to make sure they know what they're doing. They've seen the live bullets. And again, last week they took the black jersey off, went white, and we really saw what the other half of their game is, and that's being able to run extended play. And those guys have done a really good job. They've also got 1 reps as well. We've also allowed them to get in there with some, you know, R1s and mix it up. And again, I want to go back and grade the film, but they did some really good things when they were in there today with the ones and with the twos. So we're in a situation, like what Coach said with the redshirt rule, you can play those guys early and see what they can do. We're kind of like an offensive lineman, the D linemen are moving faster than high school, the secondary is moving faster than high school linebackers, and so we got to make sure we get them in there early and if they are the guy, they're the guy. If they're not, we'll be able to still redshirt them. I love the rule. I love what we're allowing them to do and really find out what they can, if they can play at this level at a young age or not.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.